last 2 weeks we talked about curating human experiences in an AI like dependent world, and I think I was speaking mostly to people that are into art, people that are freelancers. I wasn't speaking in a corporate language, so I want to like revisit that, but I want to revisit it in such a way that you are transforming or you are transitioning from creative art into corporate design. This stems from the discussion we had the other time. I was looking through my old designs and I discovered that in those my old designs, I was free, I was expressive, I was enjoying. Then I discovered that as time went on, my designs changed to be more corporate and more formal, and it has lost its like spontaneity. Though the designs are still good, but it's a bit more restrictive in quote, and so I want to be speaking on the strategic shift, transitioning from creative arts to corporate design. As I heard Chris Do says, he said purpose has two wheels. Purpose is like a bicycle that has two wheels. He said there's passion and there's profit. So purpose is driven by passion and it's also driven by profit. Those are the two wheels that uh, purposes. And in our African, we said owo ni keke in rere. While that is true, that is entirely not true. So there are two wheels on the bicycle, which is this passion and this profit. And to be honest, if you are doing something solely for passion, that means there should be profit somewhere funding it. Creative art is often about expression. Like, as an artist, you are always expressing yourself, expressing what you feel about certain circumstance, certain things in the environment, mental health day. You're always expressing yourself. And corporate design is about communication, basically. In creative arts, you are communicating like from the artist's POV, right? You're communicating either one person POV, or if it's a collab, two persons, three persons POV, right? But in corporate design, you are communicating on behalf of an organization that has even maybe it's older than you, several hundreds of years. So the language, there's a shift in the language, and you are moving from, oh, this looks good and this looks cool, to what actually functions in communicating and what works for the brand. A corporate designer, or a corporate graphic designer, or a corporate artist is one that uses art to communicate the goal. You are using art or design as a tool to communicate the goal to your audience, or on behalf of stakeholders, on behalf of investors, on behalf of conglomerates. So that's a shift. So there are three shifts that every artist should consider when you see that your work is going from creative arts into corporate design or into a more structured environment. The corporate world is guided by rules, like rules that have sustained the organization for years. And as a designer who is spontaneous, who is fluid, who is flexible, you know, there is a tendency to feel constrained or to feel boxed in by rules and guides. Every artist should have a mindset that rules and guides are not the problem. They help to guide your art flow. They help to guide your the essence of your art. So in creative art, you make the rules. In corporate design, it's the brand guidelines that dictate the rules for you. The brand guideline is basically your Bible. Everything you have to do, you have to abide by it. So you have to understand that logos, typography, color palettes are non-negotiable. And that is where consistency comes in. You have to maintain a consistency for the organization you are working with, and because these organizations know that consistency over time builds trust in the heart of their clients or their audience. Again, learning to design systems that other designers can use. So as a designer, when moving into the corporate space, you have to design in such a way that someone else can pick up that template and continue from where you stop. You don't want to be a lone ranger when it comes to corporate design. You have to create in such a way that others coming after you or your colleagues can always pick up from where you stop. Especially when it comes to naming, you have to name all your layers. You don't, and once you are done with the design, you don't put final one, final V2, final real design master. You have to have a naming protocol. Then also, every pixel in a corporate environment must justify its existence. You can't say, "Oh, why did you put that star there?" Okay, I put it there because it's vibe, it's cool. You have to explain. It has to have meaning. It's not about aesthetics. It's KPI. It must convert. And that is why some designers think, oh, working in the corporate world, strenuous, and it doesn't help them grow. Corporate design requires strict adherence to contrast. It has to be in good practice and it has to be legal. I remember there was a design one time that was done for a company, and the graphic designer made the design and he used a particular person. So when someone close to me posted the design, the person that owns that particular photo just started her up. Ta ta ta. This is my picture. Where did you get it from? Apparently the designer got it from Facebook and used it in the design. So we had to send a message to the company, and they had to tender an apology and brought down every instance of that design. Thank God that the owner of the picture didn't go public and say these people use my picture without my permission, because any little mistake can get you sued. Every little mistake can put the people you work for in deep trouble. So that has to be noted. You can't just place information around and trust that the audience will figure it out. No, you have to hold them by the hand and guide them through your design, except if it's a quiz, right? But every design must hit them in the face with what they are getting. What's in it for them, they must have it. You can't start, oh, we have a package for you. No, just start with 40% discount on all sales. That's the one that has the most hierarchy already, and that has the most contrast. So from creative art to corporate design, you have to spell it out hoo-ha, then understand the Z pattern or F pattern of reading, and that's how people interact with written content. Then your biggest challenge as an artist won't be the software. It's usually the feedback loop. uh, you are good with your software, you know your onions, but you present a design that you think, oh, this is the best design. Once I submit, they will approve immediately. But you see that you're now going through this constant feedback loop. You are sending it to your supervisor. Your supervisor is sending it to the manager. The manager is sending it to HR. HR is saying, no, this cannot work. The legal is saying, no, we can't put this. You can't use this language. People in C-suite are saying, no, we can't use this. This doesn't communicate the brand. So sometimes you are stuck in that feedback loop. And the best thing to do as a designer when taking up a corporate gig, or when trying to just go corporate design, is to sit down with the brand of the company and really understand what they really want, understand what their brand is about, understand their history, go through their catalog of designs they've done over the years, and intimate yourself with this. Once you are able to abide by the rules, you can break it safely as a designer, because yeah, design is not meant to be in constraints, but it's just meant to be guided. Picture it this way: there's lightning, and when lightning strikes a place, it's devastation, it's destruction. But what if you guide that lightning through high tension into people's homes? You see that you can light bulbs, you can. So those structures are meant to just put your creative power to good use, to effective use. You speak business in corporate design. You don't explain your design by saying, oh, the choice, it feels more modern. You cannot say it feels more modern. No. You can say this is minimalist design. It directs the user's eye on where to go. That's basically corporate language. Because if we are thinking of going global, you have to speak the language of the palaces. As a designer, you are not a lone ranger in corporate firms. You are working with copywriters, data analysts, project managers. You have to learn their languages. You have to know how to work with them hand in hand. Some designers like saying, "Oh, I want to be in the zone. Leave me alone." You don't get it. You don't get it. They don't get it, but you have to make them get it. You have to put it in such a way that they get it, and that reduces your workload or stress as a designer. Then transitioning doesn't mean you are stopping your creative pursuits. It means that you are applying your creative brilliance to solve complex business puzzles or problems. So you're not stopping your creativity, you're not halting it, you're not reducing it. You're just saying, okay, how can I use my creative prowess to solve business puzzles or business problems? The whole complex language of the business, you are trying to just reduce it into a poster or a design that communicates the value of sometimes transgenerational businesses. And that takes a lot of delicate approach, and it takes wisdom to do.